Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another Mash and Drum Whiskey Wednesday night. A very big night, I must say. As you can see, I got the new mic set up here, and I'm kind of digging it. I got to get used to it, but I think it makes my voice sound a lot sexier. I'm just going to say right now. What is going on, everybody? Nice to see everybody. Tonight we have quite a night. We're going to be testing this. Hey, where'd that go? Oh my gosh. I'm so worried about the mic. I didn't turn on the bottle cam. Is it coming through? Give me the bottle cam. There it is. This baby right here. The Russell's Reserve Single Rickhouse Camp Nelson B. Finally got my hands on it thanks to one of my glorious patrons for helping me out. And we are going to taste this for the first time tonight before I do my full review and get into the nitty gritty of it. So we will compare it to Camp Nelson F, which I only have a little bit left of that one, but we will get that going. That mic looks like a baby arm holding an apple. Says Ben. All right, there you go. Jason Challinger's inner Johnny Fever from WKRP with Cincinnati. Welcome to the show, everybody. Here we go. I'm not going to talk like that all night, I promise. But yeah, I was kind of unhappy with the audio quality of my live stream, so I figured I'd up the game with this mic for my live streams. I'll keep my overhead mic for my regular videos, but this will be my I guess my live stream video, since people do listen to this after the fact. Sometimes they podcast it, so I do want to gotta up the game sometimes, guys, and I'm always looking to improve. So with that said, let's get to the chat. Travis Robeson's here. Oh snap, gobble gobble. It's turkey hunting season. Welcome in. Randall Erickson is here. Nathan Jurgensen, EC94 proof pick in the Glen. Very nice. I'm actually starting off with a Russell's pick, one of my own Russell's picks. This is a Tyrone K that we did last year or this year. Last year? I don't even remember anymore. So many picks. This is last year, 2023. So there you go. What's up, Ham Turkey? Nice to see you, man. We have Kevin McLaughlin in the house. All right, yeah. Well, I think some of the folks in the chat had mentioned to you about the LLME. Yeah, there we go. Thanks you, Ronald Erickson. Let's see who else is here. We got Stephen Walt in the house. What's going on, Stephen? Tim Romero, 4 Leaf Whiskey. What's going on, Stacey? We got James Lay with his weekly LFG. Thank you very much. Justin Jenkins is here. Let's see, Warren Smith in the house. We got John Farron is here. Night Method. All I'm finding are LLMDs. That's actually what's here in Ohio right now. I haven't come across an ME yet, so hoping those hit soon. Top Jimmy in the house. What's going on, Top Jimmy? We got JG in the house. What's going on, Jay? Nice to see you as always. Mike Daly is here. Tim Cornet. We got Norman Conklin is here. Russ L. Dr. Sped is in the house. Bo's Wine Guy. We have Sandy Chima. We also have Zach Butler. We have Jay Will Drink is here. We have Truman in the house. Jeff Perkins. Michael Speakerman. Much more people came in. A-Brod is here. What's going on, A-Brod? We got Joey B. We got Pretty Ray VZ. What's up, man? He's got a Russell Single Barrel 8-year Tyrone F in the house. In the glass, I should say. In his house. Not in the house, but in the, you know what I mean. Aerial Ace Drone Services. Cheers, sipping on the heart release of Makers. Oh, that's all. Yeah, I actually really like that release. I like that release. So MG is here. Zach Butler. Adam Hinson. What's going on, Flo Rida? Nice to see you, man. We said hi to Ben. Kenneth Rothburn is here. CNF, I have somewhere. I'll find it. Yes, Jason has the Joe Rogan effect going on. Says bonding over bourbon. Welcome back, Jason. I'm so excited of you and your connections. I mean, yeah, it's just I'm very lucky to have the great patrons I have and some great YouTube followers that help me find some good bottles. Whiskey Nose is here, guys. Whiskey Nose is celebrating his 50th birthday, so give it up for Whiskey Nose. Raise your glass. He is turning the big 50. He looks no younger than he don't look a day over 48, man. I'm just saying. Let's see, S7B. Yeah, this is the Shore S something. I don't know. The box is somewhere. I dig it though. Welcome to the live stream, says Whiskey Juice. We got Brad Tanaka here. Tommy D in the house. What's going on, Tommy? Sean Mack is here. Adelio Samuels, happy birthday, Marty. Martel is here. What's going on, Martel? Paolo Crack Dadon, nice to see you, man. And a bunch of other people. Top Dog, I see Paul P. And a bunch more people coming in. Hooper, Don Prince. Jason has connections. I just thought he wore knee pads. Damn, Tommy. That's it, Tommy. When you fall asleep, next time we're hanging out, when you fall asleep, I'm shaving your beard. That's what you get for that comment. Real quick tonight, I just want to kind of. So I was in a obviously on top of the whiskey live streams and other channels I follow. I also follow some different sneaker channels and obviously some NFL channels, baseball, stuff like that. I was on a chat, a couple chats today, and it got pretty ugly with all the election stuff. So just a quick moment of seriousness before we go on with our live tonight. I have no doubt that many of you woke up this morning either very happy or very disappointed. If you are choosing to watch me tonight, I hope that means you need a break from all the election coverage and social media ugliness and all the random text messages that you get from the different election folks that comes along with it. If that's the case, thank you so much for watching tonight and spending your time with me. But as a reminder, no matter what side of the aisle you're on, be kind in the chat. No ugliness, no darkness, no bullshit. The beauty of whiskey, I think, is being able to share a pour with someone you may not know. Getting to know them, no matter color, creed, religion, or even their political affiliation. And as far as this community, it's what kind of brings us all together. So I hope as we go forward from here, we all stay united and kind to each other going forward, especially in the chat, but also outside of here. So, all right, seriousness rant over. Let's dive into the chat. Let's go. All right, or dive into the glass, I should say. I already dove into the chat. All right. So this is one of my Tyrone K. One of my Tyrone K barrel picks that we did. This one, I believe, was about 8 years old. And at the time, Tyrone Ks were just completely hitting just so well in the in the warehouse. A lot of people were picking K barrels. And this was one of those years where the Ks were it, man. Special K, we call this. Actually, it was my buddy Dude from Bourbon Hunters. We kind of named the barrel after him. So cheers, guys. Thanks for hanging out tonight. We have some fun bottles to go through tonight. We also have week 3 of Blendageddon, the Franken-blends, which is a hitter bracket because not only is the defending champion DMC Kentucky in it, we also have Darrell Stewart. We have not Bozwanga. I'm sorry. Who else is there? We have Whiskey Problems. And we have a few others that are just vying to grab the title away from DMC. We'll see if he can keep his crown. But Darrell Stewart is a damn good blender himself. He's the rating Blendageddon champion for the American blends. So we'll see how it goes. All right, guys. Cheers. Here we go. All right. Love it. All right. Let's see. So we will get into, obviously, the Russells, the Camp Nelson, but we are going to get into a couple of bottles that I gave, I'm not going to say unfavorable reviews, but reviews that I feel, and I always like to do this. I always like to go back, revisit. Oh, there's JG. Revisit some bottles that I may have given a unfavorable review to, just to see exactly how it fares. And if I go back to it with a little bit of a fresher palate, do I like it more than I did before? One of those bottles is the C924 for Elijah Craig. So many mixed reviews on this bottle. It seems like the ones that got it early didn't really like it, but the ones getting it later are liking it. So I don't know if it was just me. Even Scott, who I do Mash and Journey with, he loved his C924, and he was saying he was getting all these flavors. I'm like, what the hell are you tasting? Or what the hell am I tasting? So we're gonna dive back into that a little bit tonight. Actually, I might actually kick off with that. I also wanted to dive back into the Maker's Heart release again, and also the Shanks, which I wasn't too crazy about, and also Little Book Infinite, which I left upstairs because that was the bottle. I was sitting there thinking, did I leave something upstairs? And that was the bottle. Maybe I'll go grab it while the Blendageddon trailer is playing. I'll figure it out. David Selby says, I got to see 924 yesterday. It was great. I think it's a good bourbon. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe my expectations for Elijah Craig barrel proof are just too high at this point. And if it doesn't blow me away, I'm just kind of like, meh, it's good, solid. But we'll go back and we'll try it out here. So Let's see. It's a shame you added 114 to the OGD16 because I thought of a good single about OGD16 and W took a 7th. I did that plus my Henry McKenna 10 last night. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that old Granddad 16. Actually, I should see how that's coming out because I did pour some 114 in here, and I don't think I've tasted it since I did it live. So let's see how it's coming out. Real quick, so beyond, Blendageddon tonight, which is going to be awesome. Again, some of these bottles, we'll get into the single Rickhouse, answer all your questions, whatever you may have, and also we'll get into a few news stories, plus a cool few labels popping up on the TTB. It's going to be that time of year. Not a ton more releases here as we wind down to the holidays. Can't believe it's already November. Most of the big announcements already have happened, including Antique Collection. So we'll see exactly where that fares, where that leaves us, and we start seeing some of these new labels that hit in January, February. Some of these labels as we get into the year 2025, which is crazy to think about already. So, happy birthday to Jason's stepdaddy. Oh, Henry D, that's messed up, man. That's messed up. I see what you did there. Okay. I will say last year, C923 was epic. Yeah, most people thought it was epic. Can't wait to hear your initial thoughts on that Camp Nelson B. Was there info on the press release on age of barrels used? Yeah, I actually do have the press release here pulled up. It says, let's see here. We had to me, spine, to blah, blah. It's not chill filtered, bottled at a barrel proof 120.2 to be savored and enjoyed. $300 SRP. Is there an age? Do I see here? Actually, I do not see an age on the press release, unfortunately. Now, if we're going historically, you would think that this could be anywhere between 10 to 13 years old ish. Let me see if there's another. See if there's another. I'm reading another post here. I want to see if there is any other information here on age. I feel like for a bottle that's $300, give us an age, dude. Okay, so this article says 10 years. It says 10 years old. So, all right, it's at least 10. That's not bad. Still overpriced, probably for $300. But there you go. Hey, Jason, I got just my hands on the 8-year Penelope Estate collection. Any thoughts on it? I have not cracked that one open yet, but I do have a review coming out. So, yep, that's one of the bottles I'll be putting on a review. So, I got to tell you, it smells fantastic. It smells better than I remember. More citrus, I think, has come through from adding the 114, and it kind of balances out the oak a bit. So I'm digging that more and more. Oh, that's way better. It has a finish now. It's got a finish. It still holds the oak. I think, even though I just kind of blindly poured in just maybe, a little bit, I feel like that helped it a lot. It really balanced out the sweetness. It's not as oak forward. It balanced out the finish. It gave it a finish. It had a finish before, but it was mostly an oaky drying finish, at least to me. But now, this thing is ridiculous. I'll drink the hell out of that bottle. That's good. Penelope Estate 9-year was pretty good. Picked up one for Halloween, New Jersey, and at $85, it's worth it in my opinion. Nice. You know what? I'll grab that bottle too when I go grab the Infinite, whatever it's called. But what do I? Saucy Shane. What did Saucy Shane say? Tried last Sunday to get a Pride of Anderson County, and it was gone in seconds, and it was pricey as F. Glad it sold out before I had the chance. Yeah, I chose not to get a Pride of Anderson County this year. It was too steep. I did get last year's. I was lucky enough to get last year's, but I really wanted the 15-year one, but at $700, I couldn't pull the trigger on it. It was just too much. I got a lot of plans for my own stuff coming out, and I just wasn't going to spend almost $1,000 on a bottle of Wild Turkey. I just couldn't do it. So, Let's see here. Hey, JC, finally getting to watch you live. If I get lucky to win a CYPB in the lottery, I'm thinking about trading it for Russell Reserve 15, Coy Hill, 4 Roses. Which one would you pick? Man, that's a really good question. And it's a really good trade, too, because all three of those kill the CYPB. Being a turkey guy, I would probably say the Russell Reserve 15, but I could see Coy Hill being a big favorite there. 4 Roses LE this year, while I really liked it, I thought there have been better releases, even though it's still stellar. But Matthew, to be honest, go off of what you like. If you're a big fan of CYP, if you're a big fan, I should say, of Turkey versus Jack Daniels versus 4 Roses, just go with the one you like the profile the best. I mean, there's really no wrong answer there. All three are fantastic. So, but whatever your favorite profile is, go for the one you like more. But if it was me, I'd grab a Russell's 15 because we don't know if we'll see that age statement again. So, thanks for tuning in tonight, by the way, as well. Russell's Reserve 15 or Coy Hill? Russell's 15. Coy Hill was good this year, but I actually liked the previous releases better. I don't know what it was about it. It's really good. Maybe because it was just a Coy Hill again, and I wanted it. I thought it could be better than even the last ones, but to me, they weren't. And that sounds crazy. It's not like that they were worse. I feel like they were either on par, close to being that good, or not that good. They're depending on what single barrel you got. I feel like it could have been in any of those, kind of ranges. I don't know. Like, to me, it just wasn't as impressive. And again, if I didn't have the Coy Hills that preceded that one, would I have thought the same? And I feel like maybe I wouldn't have. Maybe I still would have thought that one was fantastic. But compared to the other Coy Hills that preceded this year's version, I feel like it was good, but just not fantastic. Not like wow. Just really good. Definitely a bottle I would not overpay for. So if you're thinking of paying $425 or whatever it is for those bottles, yeah, not worth it. Let's see here. Just got this year's GTS. Going to be hard to pick between that or Russell 50. Damn, you got GTS this year, Saucy Shane? You lucky bastard. Did you already review the Russells? No, not yet. CeeLo, we haven't cracked it open yet, but I'm getting there. Smash that like button. Top Jimmy, thanks so much, man. Appreciate it. Member for 5 months. Always re-upping, Top Jimmy. Thanks for the first super chat of the night, the first donation to the station. Thank you so much. Appreciate you, man. Always appreciate the super chats. And really appreciate you guys tuning in as always, especially tonight with everything going on. Got a Russell Reserve 13 batch today. Amazing. Yeah, that stuff's always going to be good, man. Nick Foles, what up, Drizzy? What's going on, man? Awesome. Thank you, JC. You the GOAT. I just saw CYPB on secondary go for 500. Volcano Green Lava Orange. Master Drum, are you ready for a single barrel Saturday? Yes and no. So for those of you guys, for context, Single Barrel Saturday is kind of a big event here in Ohio, in Bro, Ohio, as I call it. They do quite a quite a release for a bunch of single barrels that were selected by OHLQ, which is the state agency here in Ohio. Sometimes they throw some surprises in there, some hard to find stuff, some allocated stuff. So I think I'm more excited about the allocated stuff if there's anything good that drops that day rather than just the single barrels. So we'll see. But yeah, always excited about that. Had someone wanted to trade a lot B Van Winkle for Old Forester, not Old Forester, I'm sorry, Old Fitz, very, very special 13. Lot B Van Winkle for a 13. Oh, man, that's a pretty decent trade. I think the Old Fitz is better, but I think it's a decent trade. Pretty sure Jay never reviewed Overhaul 11 from this year. Curious on your thoughts. I did get to try it. I did not buy it, but I did get to try it, and I thought it was pretty on par with the last release. I really do think it's a great rye whiskey. I think it's pretty close to what we had the last release. I do dig it. So if you're a fan of the last release, you'll like this release. I think it's pretty on par. What are your thoughts on the beliefs that bourbons are not delivering to the expectations this year, says Caesar? I wholeheartedly agree. Again, I still think this is the year of the rye. I think we've had a lot of great rye whiskeys that were more impressive this year than bourbons. I think some of the bourbons, but You know, I mean, it's hard to say because, you know, every single year where we go through this and we try to figure out which bourbons are better than others, you know, you have to not only take into context about, you know, it's like anything else, man. It's like sports. The teams, your team varies from year to year most of the time, and I feel like you're going to get that with bourbon as well. I think there were a little bit more disappointing whiskeys this year than I thought there would. I don't think I'll have an Elijah Craig Barrel Proof in my top 10 this year, to be honest. Maybe we'll see how the B524 does, or if my mind changes with the C924. Actually, you know what? Let me pour that. I'm gonna keep that handy. Let me pour the C924. I'll take a kind of a reimagining of this bottle. Let's see where I am here with it. I mean, as you can see, I keep going to it. It's not like I'm not trying. All right. So, but overall, I think, yeah, it was a little bit disappointing. I think I did like, man, it's tough because Heaven Hill, you know, they may not have wowed us. I don't think Larceny Barrel Proof will ever be a wow whiskey. I think it'll be a good, if not better whiskey, you know, the year to year. Elijah Craig Barrel Proof has the capability to be a holy shit wow whiskey, as we saw at C923 and some other previous batches. But I don't think we got that this year. But I really enjoyed the Parkers this year. I know that's not a bourbon, it's a malt. So that's a little bit, you know, tricky when you talk about that. I mean, just kind of going through, you know, some of the brands here. I'm just looking at my shelf. Nothing really exceptional from Buffalo Trace besides the Colonel Taylor Barrel Proof Rye. It was okay. Not an amazing wow release either. We did get Weller Millennium, but we all know the price point of that bottle. Jim Beam continued to inundate us with a ton of different releases this year. I think Booker's Reserves is kind of high on that list for me. I really did like that release. You know, Infinite, you guys know kind of my thoughts on it. Wasn't really that impressed with it. I thought the blend is kind of disjointed, a little bit flat. Maybe that'll get better from year to year as the time goes on. It is an infinity type of product. So as they continue to add to it, we'll see what happens. Yeah, I am eager to try the Jimmy Russell batch from Booker. So hopefully we see that and we get to kind of go through that and see if it might be the best Bookers of the year. But, you know, Bardstown Discovery, I thought had a great year. Some of the collabs, the Amroot, the Discovery 12 stick out. Bardstown adding the High Wheat. I think Bardstown and even Green River had great years this year, bringing full proof to the fold, a really great, affordable barrel proof bourbon. I thought that was great. I think Bardstown and Green River had a great year this year. I think single barrels were still king, especially when it comes to a lot of the MGP source brands. Then you had a lot of brands that were coming of age. You had the Ben Holiday got really popular. Pinhook is upping the game. You see, we just talked about Penelope upping the game a bit. But overall, yeah, you could say Wild Turkey had a great year. I wouldn't say Master's Keep was that great this year. I think Master's Keep, I think Wild Turkey had a great year whiskey-wise, but not a great year price-wise. But you could say that about a lot of brands. So, all right, let's dive back into the Elijah Craig C924, coming at 129 proof, 11 years, 0 months of age. And let's see if this gives me a little bit, if it fares better with me or not. Since I'm seeing so many mixed reviews and I'm like, am I crazy? What am I not getting here? So let's dive back in and listen. If I really like it this time, you guys, I'll admit when I'm wrong. I always do. So any word on the old Carter sale? Not yet. Haven't heard anything yet. Now it's a silent auction, so we don't really know who's bidding, what's going to happen. I have a couple of ideas of who could be buying that place, but we'll see. All right, so on the nose, dry sweet oak. So that sweet oak is there. Actually, no, that's kind of that kind of conflicts with itself. Dry oak. I'm not even going to say sweet oak. I think there's a little sweetness there, but I think that's mainly from the bourbon, the like the brown sugar parts that you normally get in Elijah Craig. Ed Williams, cheer y'all. Jason, don't forget to ask the question. Oh, Ed Williams. Yeah. All right. So we talked about this the other night. I'll get into this. So cheers, Ed. I really appreciate the support, man. Love you, buddy. Thanks so much. Vlad Tepes or Tepes says one of the big, he likes the Beam products. They just hit the right way for me. There you go. Hey, man. The thing about Beam is they do great releases at decent prices most of the time. So that's always a good thing. All right. So, yeah, a lot of the brown sugar is there. I still smell like peanut butter cookie on here. A little bit of sweetness there, you know, but it's very heavy vanilla, which, again, it's good. It's a solid ECBP. All right. Let's give it a try. Cheers, guys. Oh, I missed some super chats and member gifts. Well, let me go back up. Sorry, guys. Guys are moving fast. I'm sitting here rambling. Where did I miss? Oh, David Selby. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate you. $20 super chat. Thank you so much. Awesome of you. MashanddDrum, Sharedport had the Hawk 2 up on their site earlier today. The setback bottles, I guess. Yes, they were the setback bottles. There was Top Jim. I think I got his. Yeah, I was asking a few folks in that I know missed out if they wanted any bottles, but if you guys were kind of going through it and grab one, then there was only like 8 bottles left, I think. Oh my God, do you hear my mouth noises? I'm sorry. That's terrible. I got to back it up. I got to back it up. Bourbon Lens in the house. What's going on? Bourbon Lens is here. Guys, one of the best podcasts that I like to listen to. So please give them a listen if you have not already. Yeah, no. Second sip is meh to me. First sip, good. I got a lot of those good flavors. Second sip, I don't know. I honestly don't understand what people are tasting when they think that this batch is like stellar. I don't get it. Maybe not stellar, but really good. I don't see it. It's just missing some layers of flavor to me. Like, to me, it's just a little flat. You know, and I'm sorry to say that, but it just is. There's just not enough going on. I mean, we don't even have to talk about C923. Even if you go back to like C918, C919, C922 was a pretty decent. I mean, Scott said he was getting all this rich cherry on it. Where? I don't know, man. Maybe there was like a gap between when they bottled these and then when they bottled the others. I don't know, but I am not getting all this depth of flavor that everyone else is getting. For me, it is flat. There's a great spice to it. The one thing this does has is a great finish. It's very spice driven, which I really love. But the front of the palate, the front to mid palate is flat. It doesn't give me enough that I want from a C batch of Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. I'm getting a lot of vanilla, a lot of that heaven hilliness that you normally get. Yeah, I'm just not seeing it. Let's see. I think this isn't an exceptional ECBP year, but 2025 is a couple months away. There you go. Yeah, Brooks, that's actually a great point. I might have to. I think over Hello Gun Whiskey Friends, because Jeffrey Wack really liked his, and I think he was going to send me a sample of his. I'm curious to see if there's a big difference here, because I got this bottle sent to me directly from Heaven Hill. Now, if this one happens to be a little bit different than the ones that are out there in the market, I'm curious to see that. So we will explore that at some point. The Rebecca Creek is getting better and better as it opens up. Yeah, Jeff, you know why? Because that little bit of a youthful characteristic that it has starts to fade away. So yeah. Caesar says I'm still going to buy it. Yeah, it's not a bad whiskey by any means. It just doesn't. I don't know. I don't know. I think because I was also so kind of meh about A and B, I really wanted C to be this incredible, punch of flavor. And while it's good, it just doesn't live up to the hype of a C for me. You know what I mean? Maybe you need to check. Yeah, I'm not checking laser codes on these. Yeah, somebody was asking me. I thought you hated the whole laser code thing, and I do. I think there's a difference though between when you have a batch product that releases, every couple months, every month. From Wild Turkey, you get very little variation because those are batched for consistency mainly. But then all of a sudden there's an outlier batch that's like, hey, we threw some 14-year whiskey in it. You're not going to find that again. So you have to know those laser codes and find those bottles rather than something like this where it's, as much as we know from Heaven Hill, they're not doing anything weird with the batching. Everything is the same thing. And, whether one person thinks that there's a big difference between this bottle and that bottle within the same batch for one release, I find that a little bit more difficult to resonate with, I guess. So I don't know. I think laser code can be good in some instances, but just not. I just don't want to lean on it all the time. Single barrels are obviously single barrels, so those are going to be barrels you want to find. But laser codes, yeah, I'm not gonna get into going down that rabbit hole. It all depends on the power of the laser, which goes against Fred Minich. It all depends on the power of this laser. What do you mean, David? Which goes against Fred Minnick? What do you mean? What goes against Fred Minnick? Yeah, I don't think that's a special ECBP at all. That one is still, meh for me. Who I give the utmost praise to. Prefer Logic Craig barrel proof over larceny. Oh, yeah. Most of the time, I do as well. For sure. But last year, yeah, the fact that he picked the larceny over a Logic barrel proof in 2023 was very surprising. It's not like H8 said, hey, on the third day of bottling this batch, add in that 15-year ago tank we had help out, but only into. Yeah, that's what I mean, Travis. When you're talking about specific, like one specific batch that is released once rather than a batch, a small batch product or a blended product that gets released constantly. You get that one or two outliers like a Rare Breed or a Wild Turkey 101 or a Russell's 10-year this year. It's pretty cool. So where do I get the Russell's 10? Roger Henson says 2024 ECBP is just meh. Where do I get Russell's 10? I mean, it's usually that's a pretty available bourbon. You can just walk in and find it. So, all right. What are we gonna dive into here quick? Let me go back into this Maker's Heart release. I gave this, a lot of people did like this one. Ooh, that was probably loud. A lot of people did like this one. I think I gave this an unfavorable review because I just didn't like the lack of creativity coming out of Makers, to be honest. And sometimes because I'm a marketing person, sometimes that gets in the way, I think, of my of my reviews sometimes. That's why I really gave Blue Run a hard time a lot, and the Forbidden and a couple of other those bourbons that came out, and it was like a lot of marketing fluff, not enough substance. And while Maker's Mark has the substance, they have such a great name and such a great history. The fact that we're still getting these wood finishing series constantly, just like a renaming and rebranding, I don't know. It just bugs me. It just does. I'm sorry to say, it just does. So let me dive back into this one. So the Heart release was for 2024. This was 1 of 5, so we're going to see more of these. 111.7 proof, 10 virgin toasted French oak staves were used in this one, and we've seen that used in other batches before in other Maker's Mark products. So. Hey, now, Minnick had 2 larceny barrel proofs in this top 3 bourbon of the year. The issue isn't Heart release itself, but Maker's lack of actual innovation. Makers is just doing the same thing over and over like AC/DC, but it's still good. Yeah, I could see that. Jeff Winbush, your honesty is one reason I subscribe. Oh, Jeff Winbush, I appreciate that, man. What's the other reason? My charming good looks? No, I'm kidding. All right. So on the nose, it does. It smells like Makers. I do get a little bit of the maple. I could see the chocolate in this one. But let's try it again here. See, after it's been a little while, see if I dig this one. Calm down, son. Yeah, this one to me isn't. I actually prefer this one. I prefer this. I like this Lost Recipe Mocha. Dude, this is good. This is one of the most crushable, delicious bourbons I've had from Makers. So to me, this thing, if none of you have seen this one yet, this is the one to get this year for me in 2024. I think this is really, really good compared to, yeah, this one's not doing it for me still. See, I speak the truth, Home Slice. Let me pour a little bit of this one. Let's see. The bourbon experience is here. SE4PR. Yeah, FA. Yeah, all of those letters. Thank you for the license plate. Bourbon experience. Appreciate that. Don't eat the mic. This has so much. I subscribe because Jason is a what? Is a cute little Italian man who appreciates great cannolis. Is that wrong? That's not wrong, James. I'll take that. I don't know if I like the word little, but I'll take cute Italian man. You don't have to put little in there. Jesus. Yeah, this Lost Recipe series, just on the nose alone, is so much more inviting. The heart release just has that, again, that sour milk. What, since somebody told me that, I cannot get it out of my head every time I taste a Maker's Mark or even smell it. Lost Recipe or cellar aged. Probably the Lost Recipe, because I don't get that weird funky aftertaste that I get in this or the cellar aged. I actually had cellar aged on the list tonight too, but I forgot that I did not buy that bottle. That bottle was sent to me from a patron, and I sent it back. And I didn't buy one because I didn't like it. So that's the reason why I don't have it. I totally forgot. That totally slipped my mind. But I'm actually glad I didn't buy that bottle. Was not a big fan of the Maker's Mark 24 at all. So J Porter, sour milk, isn't that an ADHD description? It might be, but I've also heard that in the chat and from other people that, you know, Tastemakers Mark say they get a sour milk note, which I think is interesting. At first I'm like, what are you talking about? But then I guess once I smelled it and tasted it, I kind of get it. I don't know if sour milk is exactly the right word, but it definitely has kind of a funky, I guess, rotten milk or sour or sour milk smell. It's weird. It's weird. But when it comes to my favorite release of the year from Makers, it's going to be this Lost Recipe. I really dig this. It doesn't come off like that regular Maker's Mark Markian, you know, finish that I normally get. So Lost Recipe for the win. All right, guys, let me Farmy. Farmy's a good word. Farmy, Jay Porter. I like that. Anyone want to trade my Wild Turkey 70th for your Maker's Lost Recipe? Dank wood. I think I get the dank wood in the cellar aged for sure. I'm late, but the ECBP C924 tastes very special to me. It's got a narrow cherry note and a strong oak finish. Tastes refined and older, in my opinion. I keep going back to it. I could see the age on it, but man, I do not get a narrow. Wait, you said narrow cherry note? I can maybe see that. But to me, the more I sip it, the more uninteresting it gets, the C924. But again, I'm gonna get some samples of some other bottles and see if there is something to this. So we'll see how it goes. All right. So I have 3 glasses here. I think it's time we crack open some Russell Single Rickhouse, everybody. That's right. Jason likes makers when it doesn't taste like makers. That's accurate. That's accurate. All right, let's go to a couple of news stories here. Not much, but I did find a couple of really cool labels on the interwebs that you guys might be interested in. So first, let's go to a couple of news stories here. First and foremost, we have Barrel Craft Spirits, I should say, announced the release of the Barrel New Year Bourbon 2025 on Friday. It's a blend of bourbon whiskeys that range from 5 to 15 years of age and features a suggested retail price of $89.99. There will be 12,000 bottles of this one that exist. 75% corn, 20% rye, 4% malted barley, and 1% wheat. So you have a mix of Kentucky, Indiana, Tennessee, Wyoming, New York, Texas, Ohio, and Maryland bourbons all featured in here. New year, new beginnings, new traditions, a time for renewal and fresh starts. And blending all these together kind of helps with it. The palette features lemon, Meyer lemon, key lime pie, grape soda. The finish is full of wasabi, tea tree, and grapefruit, coupled with coconut water. That is a funky sounding palette. Okay. Next up, and this is kind of interesting. Let's get back to the photos. Here we go. Angel's Envy is dropping its next 2024 cast strength bourbon. Their 13th annual, to be exact. Angel's Envy, the popular Louisville, Kentucky whiskey brand, is back with a fresh batch of its beloved cast strength bourbon, and this time around, it has a twist. 2024's cast strength bourbon marks the 13th annual release in the line, and this edition incorporates a tawny port wine finish blend alongside Angel's Envy's traditional ruby port wine finish. So according to Angel's Envy, this year's cast strength release is the first in which the brand implemented a Solera process, which creates a continuous aging and blending process. We have to wonder if this idea came from Martin, who employed the Solera process at Stranahan's in Denver, Colorado, prior to joining Angel's Envy in 2022. Probably pretty likely. It's bottled at 118.8 proof this year. Again, a mix of tawny and port wine barrels. Suggested retail price, $229.99. So there you go. I am probably out on that price for that. Now, I will say, man, it must have been 3-4 years ago when Angel's Envy released their all tawny port limited release. And that one was actually pretty good, if I remember correctly. Was it worth the price? No. But compared to their regular port finish one, I like. Now remember, tawny port versus ruby port. Tawny tends to be a little bit darker, has a little bit more of a nuttiness to it, a little bit of a darker, richer flavor, versus the port wine, which is a little bit brighter and fruity. So tawny mixed with port can give you a little bit of the best of both worlds. Hopefully it's not overdone. When it's overdone, it could get a little bit funky. The sulfur comes into play. You just never know. You have to kind of watch for that. But the all tawny port, Angel's Envy from a few years ago, was really good. So blending it together, I'd be happy to try a sample, but I'm not I'm not getting down that rabbit hole with that one. So David Selby says, coming from someone who sent more than 10,000 on bourbon last year, if I thought it was worth it, I would get it. Would definitely have to have a sample. Yeah, I'm with you. Yep, for sure. George Costanza was the hand model for Angel's Envy. Tiller's Bourbon Challenge says, I'll pass on that one. Okay, got it. I uncorked the Angel's Envy Triple Oak tonight, and it's pretty good. I've heard good things about the Triple Oaked. I heard it's pretty decent. When did Blade and Bow release, Snoozer? Like the first ever Blade and Bow? Or are you talking about like a recent one? Yeah, I like tawny over port, just in general. So, but that's me. This is a pretty cool story, guys. This is pretty special. I love this story. Love seeing this happening. Paralyzed former Rutgers football player Eric LeGrand debuts his first single barrel bourbon. On Friday, Eric LeGrand Spirits announced the release of its first single barrel bourbon and its first limited edition release since the brand debuted in March of 2023. This might be a newer brand you guys haven't seen yet, but it's a Kentucky straight bourbon that was produced at Green River Distillery, and according to the brand, has tasting notes of vanilla orange, subtle hint of black cherry as well. It's bottled at 52% ABV, and it's a nod to LeGrand's college football number, which is 52, which he wore for Rutgers until he suffered a career-ending injury that paralyzed him from the neck down while making a tackle during a game in 2010. So in July 2023, Legrand's bourbon brand struck a deal to be sold at Rutgers games. This is $60 per 750 milliliter bottle. It'll be made available online at ericlegrandwhiskey.com and at select retailers in New Jersey. $5.20 of every case sold is donated to the Christopher and Dana Reeve Foundation, which supports those living with impacted by paralysis by seeking to cure spinal cord injuries. So cheers to you. And I think always when you're raising money to help those in need, you got to love that. And, being from New York, New Jersey, Rutgers, before I moved to Ohio and the Ohio State and Columbus, Rutgers was really the only college football team I knew. There, when you grow up in New York, there just really isn't a lot of that unless, obviously if you have family members that go to different universities outside of New York. But I didn't have that situation. But we always heard about Rutgers. We heard about Syracuse, and I remember hearing about Penn State. So those were kind of the three teams I only really ever knew growing up. So kind of cool to see that. This is supposedly real. So just if this may offend some of you, so shield your eyes. I'm being serious. I'm not. Let's read about this because I saw this and I'm like, this can't be real, but apparently this is real. Crier Ball. So this is a football themed release. This is distilled human tears into a salty football themed bottle. And apparently this is not a joke. So on Tuesday, Fireball Cinnamon Whiskey set its sights on football season with a new product distilled from the tears of rivals. April Fool's Day is still nearly half a year off, so we're trying our best to take this one at face value. The brand has hired a group of Fireball tear collectors. We'd love to see this job description, who are slated to touch down at football games in Georgia, Texas, Illinois, Pennsylvania, Alabama, and Ohio throughout November. Their task, to collect losers' tears straight from the source. The whole thing is frankly ridiculous, so we'll let Fireball explain the details. This is what they say. The Fireball tear collectors will never touch fans or handle the teals directly. They'll only collect fluid right from the source fans' eyes using sealed jars and teardroppers. They can gather everything from a steady stream of sobs to a single tear. Rest assured, all sealed jars and droppers will be sterilized and limited to one use per person for maximum hygiene. From there, the sealed jars will be placed in storage and transported to the distillery facility for storing and distillation. There's no way to collect enough tears for a full batch of whiskey, let alone a single bottle. Rest assured, Fireball has mulled over the technicalities. The brand said that its red-clad collectors will be dispatched with menthol sticks to help stimulate tear glands if necessary. This is nuts. It may not be the craziest scheme that Fireball has put together. If anything, the Canadian whiskey brand has built its entire image around outlandish stunts and well in line with outlandish. So this is just insane. I don't know. Is this the pinnacle of innovation that we're hitting here with whiskey? That it's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah. Hey, what's up, Jeff Sia? Nice to see you, man. We got about 400 people in the chat, guys. Thanks for hanging out tonight. Hit that like button. I really appreciate you guys hanging out tonight. We're about to dive into the new Russell's single Rickhouse B. So thanks for hanging out tonight. I'll look for that bottle the next time I'm in New Jersey. Sob story sell. Oh lordy, it's a must-have. Seems appropriate for today. Crier Ball, but why? What the F? Just Dallas Cowboys. Yeah, I was just gonna say that's all you need to do is get Dallas Cowboy fans tears. Can't be real. Oh my God, that's crazy, but an amazing marketing concept. As crazy it may sound. Yeah, I mean, if this is real, I don't know if that's real. I'll believe it when I see it, honestly. All right. Let's get into a couple of cool bottles I saw on the TTB this week. First and foremost, the next Blood Oath has been announced. This is pack number 11. It's still at everyone's favorite 98.6 proof. Excuse me. And if you look at the maturation, this is a Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey finished in tequila casks. So añejo tequila barrels is going to be the finish. for Blood Oath. And I think this is just the beginning. I think 2025 will see a lot more tequila age things because tequila is skyrocketing in popularity. And I think with bourbon kind of leveling out a little bit here, I do think that bourbon makers will capitalize on that. Maybe a little bit more partnerships that we'll see. We normally see a lot of tequila that's aged in like Jim Beam or Buffalo Trace barrels or whatever it may be, which people go crazy for and pay high markups for. But maybe we'll start seeing the reverse. Maybe we'll start seeing bourbon finished in tequila barrels. I could totally see that happening. But we'll see. We'll see as time goes forward. I'm kind of out on the Blood Oaths. I'll try that from a sample if need be, but those to me aren't too much worth it anymore. And tequila, I'm not sure how I'd feel about that one. We'll see. 2XO looks like Dixon Dedman has released the vinyl blend, which is going to be his next release. Obviously centered around the music he probably listens to. So there you go. Look at this one. I don't know how I feel about this one, guys. Foregate is coming to the party with the Amburana Rumberry Alley. That's the name of it. Amburana Rumberry Alley. It's a 7-year whiskey finished in Brazilian Amburana and dark rum casks. So a combination of Amburana and rum on this one from Foregate. Not sure how I feel about that. But if anybody can pull off an Amburana rum combination finished barrels, probably Foregate. Foregate has a knack of knowing how long exactly to finish a barrel and not over finish it. So I'll be willing to give it a try, but I'm not going to bet that's going to be my favorite. We'll see how it goes. Looks like Yellowstone is coming to the shelf with a small batch 6-year 107 proof variation of their label, non-chill filtered. I think that has, depending on the price point, that has the opportunity to be a nice little addition to the shelf. I'm excited about this one though. Wild Turkey coming in with the Wild Turkey 8-year 101. That's right, Wild Turkey 8-year 101. Here's the back of it. This remarkable 8-year-old Kentucky straight bourbon has been expertly crafted by the legendary father and son Jimmy and Eddie Russell using Kentucky limestone purified water. This bourbon has been aged for 8 years in classic No. 4 char American oak barrels, giving it a richer, deeper, and bolder taste. Complex notes of vanilla, caramel, oak, and spice combine to create a uniquely satisfying whiskey experience. So this is a bourbon that we've seen overseas, but now we're going to get it here. We're going to see it domestically, which I think is exciting. Now, I know a lot of people were kind of questioning, man, if this is going to be, then what am I buying the Jimmy Russell, 70 for? Is it going to be the same thing? Most likely not, guys. Remember, the Jimmy Russell, even though it says 8 years on the front, it is a blend of 8 and 9 year. And those were very specifically selected barrels. So this 8-year, while I hope it's as good, really what's going to be the selling point here is the price point. If this is somewhere now, if you have the Jimmy Russell 70th anniversary being about $50-55, regular 101 being in that $25 to $30-ish range, where does the 8-year land? Now, in my mind, it should be in between, maybe $40, 45 the most. But if it goes higher than the Jimmy Russell, that's going to be a problem, I think, for a lot of people. So we'll see what that price point looks like. So yeah, the Jimmy is fantastic. Where's the 12-year Wild Turkey? Who knows? Maybe that's coming, Josh. Maybe that's coming, Fritzy. Yeah, sounds the same as the 70th. Yes and no. Age statement, yes, but remember, the Jimmy has 9-year blended in, whereas this, I'm guessing, well, who knows? Maybe it's not. Maybe it does have, I don't know. We'll see. On the back of the label just says 8. It doesn't say a blend of 8 and 9. Usually Wild Turkey makes that distinction, but I guess we'll see. I know ASW is releasing an 8-year small batch wheated bourbon, 8-year small batch 95.5 rye. That's good. ASW is always making great stuff. I wonder, yeah, I think this is what everybody's thinking. How different is it from the 70th? I think it'll be different. But again, I think the big difference here and is going to be the price point. We want that price point to be, we don't want it to be above 50. We don't want it, obviously, it shouldn't be below what the regular 101 is, but it should be right in that realm. So we'll see where that price lands. I think if that bottle ends up being about $60 or $70, it's going to be a problem. So yeah, so we'll see. Jason Souza says that 70th is a little bit more refined than Rare Breed. Oh, I agree. I agree, Jason. I think Rare Breed is a punch in the face, man, and that's what that was meant to do. Give you all the turkey you can handle. That Jimmy Russell's this bottle right here, this 70th anniversary, this aged 8 years. It's a beautiful bourbon. It's a beautiful bourbon. All right, let's get into the Russell's Single Rickhouse. First pour of this. I've been waiting to get this bottle. Been waiting to try it. Waiting to get into a full review of this one, which we will see. So let me get into this one here. Yeah, big pause. Big pause. All right, let's go to the old camera cam here. The bottle cam, I should say. The camera cam. There it is. Camp Nelson B. There you see, matured on floor 6. I think that says. Does that say 6? It does say 6. Sorry. On floor 6, this is the third release in the Single Rickhouse series. First we had C, then we had Camp Nelson F, and now we have Camp Nelson B. So there it is. Looks pretty dark. Again, H statement supposedly is 10 years old for this one. 10 years old. So let me get back here to you guys. All right. So, well, let me move this here. All right, let's get to the press release here, guys. So real quick, just a little bit about this bottle, if anyone has forgotten. Camp Nelson B, the much anticipated third installment in its Single Rickhouse collection. I'll kind of skip the marketing fluff here. Blah, blah, blah. It explores whiskey terroir by examining the specific location of barrel and aging and blah, blah, blah. Built in 1946 and still standing tall today, Camp Nelson Rickhouse B is centrally located on the Camp Nelson grounds. The 7-floor Rickhouse benefits from higher elevation and increased sun exposure compared to the Rickhouses of the previous iterations that sat closer to the Kentucky River and its shady tree line. Those are really where E and D hang out. I'm sorry, E and F. And that's why sometimes you get those funky flavors. A major contributing factor to its impressively high proof point of 120.2 proof. It is not only the highest proof entry in the Single Rickhouse collection, but the highest proof of any Russell's Reserve bottling ever released. So there you go. You got something there about this bottle. The higher we went, the hotter it got, and the more oak we were getting on the whiskey. So for Camp Nelson B, we wanted to make sure we were really showcasing the rich, dark honey and char notes that we tend to get from that Rickhouse. And we had a feeling that the bourbon we were looking for was sitting up there, enjoying the sun. Okay, there you go. Again, $300 for a 750 milliliter bottle, guys. So there you go. All right, I've been really excited to try this, guys. So this will be a live reaction here. 421 in the chat, guys. Thanks for hanging out tonight. Again, I know you guys are probably waiting for me to taste this thing and see what I think. So I think I'm not sure if Rarebird reviewed this one yet, but I'm curious what he thinks. But all right, let's get into it here. Here we go. Get some air in it. Real quick, let me just show you the color here. Get that in front. There's the color, nice dark color here. So there you go. All right, let's get into this, guys. Man. So to me on the nose, I could see where that dark honey note comes in, but for me, it's a lot of there's a lot of rich fruit forwardness in here to me. Golden raisin for sure. Not dark raisin, but I think golden raisin is here. Almost kind of a golden raisin, I would say. Golden raisin, cinnamon. Man, really, really rich vanillas here. Very, very vanilla forward. Man, it is sweet. Almost getting like a grilled pineapple note in here, which is something I really don't get from from Wild Turkey that often, but maybe it's just that raisin note coming to the forefront here. It's actually slightly floral too, a little bit, which is interesting. I'm not really getting a huge punch of citrus like I normally get with Wild Turkey. I'm not really getting that Luxardo cherry note that I sometimes get from Wild Turkey. Again, it's a little bit more fruit forward, floral. It's baking spice heavy. Definitely getting a little clove, cinnamon here as well. That's pretty nice. I also don't think this is as in your face as the Camp Nelson F that we had last year. So, all right, let's dive in, guys. Cheers. Here we go. Mm. No mouth noises. Ooh. I still get the golden raisin on the palate. Raisin and honey, I think, are big contributors to this one for sure. Raisin, golden raisin, not dark raisin. To me, it's not like really dark raisin at all. It's more of a, yeah. I get the clove on the palate too, a good amount. It's got a little bit of a funky oak on the back end of it. I think this does have a little bit of the Wild Turkey funk on it. You know, sometimes I don't like that when it comes by the way of like a bitter oak. That's not this. It's just a little bit more of like that. If you've had kind of some older Wild Turkey bottles, it has a little bit of like that old school funk on it. That's kind of what it has. You get a lot of oak on it. I don't think I'm getting so much as like that medicinal cherry as I'm getting more of like a black cherry a little of a black cherry note on there. It's definitely turkey. You could definitely tell this has a turkey profile to it. I like the oak. I like the spice. I think the raisin note for me on this one is what makes it stand out a bit. I don't get it. It's not like super strong on the palate because I feel like the clove, the baking spice notes really kind of take over, especially on the back end of the palate. It's a little bit drying, especially on the finish. Yeah, like right now, like the saliva is like gone out of my palate. Um, Not a super long finish either. I would say this is medium finish, not long. Kind of a medium length finish on it. I do wish it did have a little bit of a longer finish. You could probably make a case for a little bit of like a sweet tobacco thing going on the back end as well. On that sip, man, it's yeah, that golden raisin. It's like almost juicy drinking it. Does it? Yeah, I still I don't think I get a I don't get a shit ton of like the typical cherry on it. It's coming in more of like a golden raisin. I think the citrus is starting to come through now too as this opens up a bit for me. That typical like cream soda, you know, orange sherbet combination that turkey can sometimes have. Um, how does it compare with Russell's Reserve 15? All right, let's do some comparisons here because I do have some other bottles here we can compare this to. Before we dive into Blendageddon here, let's get into some of these other turkeys where I can compare it to. All right, so let's compare it to Russell's 15 first, just to see. I don't think it's going to be nearly as dark as complex as 15, but we'll get at least we could get a little bit of a baseline here. I mean, even when you look at the color of it, the 15 is, I'm not going to say it's substantially darker, but there's definitely a darker. Oh my, yeah, the 15 is ridiculous. The 15 bridges the gap between like a turkey from 1989 and a modern wild turkey, which I think why it's such a beautiful whiskey. The Camp Nelson B, and the Camp Nelson B is getting sweeter and sweeter. It is turning into like cake icing on the nose here. Wow. This is why I like to do these fresh cracks, because I think as these bourbons evolve a little bit before I do my review, when I do the full review here, which I'll probably record tomorrow, it's a little bit more of a spot on, profile here. My word, is this what we've come to? My word, Sean Dent. My word, my word. Yep, Blendageddon people are definitely screwed now. Russell's 15 will smack it around. The problem with Russell 15 and the Rickhouses for me is the price. Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. Let's see, an abortive romance. Yeah, I agree. The pricing is tough, man. I don't think the sweetness on the nose carries as much to the palate of the Camp Nelson B. I think the B, it gets oaky, it gets a little bit more drying, spice driven. I do think there's a little hint of a black cherry there to go along with that golden raisin, that honey. So it does have some really nice flavors. Let's back to the Russell's 15 here. The 15 is a friggin' smoke show. And I mean in the fact that not only is it amazing, but it also, I mean, this thing has an incredible finish that almost comes off like a cherry dipped cigar. Just the dark fruit notes and the molasses in 15 is just, it's really hard to beat, man. It's hard to match. I don't know how you beat that bourbon this year, to be honest. It's so good. I don't think I've had a bourbon that's come close to Russell's 15 this year. I know it's kind of a little bit of a spoiler alert. I mean, I am going to do a full blind at the end of the year to see how it fares, but Russell 15 is just ridiculous. What's the laser code, though? Anyone try Remus Gatsby 2024 at 104.9 proof? I have not, Timothy. I did see it. I passed on it. Jason, the 15 is still my favorite 2024 going into December. In the mid palate, it's so soft and sweet. It's amazing. Yep, 15 is friggin' delicious. Don't sleep on Garrison Brothers 2024 Cowboy Bourbon. Get it if you can. I was supposed to get a sample of that, Rizzle, honestly. Hey, what's up, Kelsey? So I haven't gotten that one yet. So, all right. So I have, this is, Camp Nelson C. I don't really want to pour that one. I do have a Camp Nelson F here, but it's sealed. I mean, do you guys want me to open this and compare it? I don't think the B is as good as the F. But do you want me to open it to compare it? Do I have to open this for you guys? Do you want me to open this right now? Do you? Do you? No, don't open it. Yeah, I'm just going off of what I think the Camp Nelson F already is more impactful than the B. I'll tell you that right now. You know what? I mean, I might as well. I mean, C wasn't my favorite, but let's see how C measures up here. C and B. The nose on B definitely outshines C. I don't think the C, man, I was really scared when C came out because I was just not impressed with Camp Nelson C at all. And I was like, man, for $300, these things better be hitters. If C is going to be the starting point, we need a better, we need to get better here. So, but just off the nose, the C is quite disappointing, even compared to B. So for me, I think right now in the three releases, you have F, B, and then C. But let's try C again. Yeah, C has like this lemon bar, lemon oak, citrus. It's very citrus forward to me, even coming off of B here. But yeah, C is just not. I mean, I've had Russell single barrel that we drank earlier tonight is better than this. So C was highly disappointing. But B, I like B. Is it worth $300? I think F was worth $300. I don't know if B's worth $300. That's going to depend on how much of a turkey nut you are. Jeremy Orard, if you fell off your chair today, how many bottles would you break? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Possibly 20 bottles with some sample bottles mixed in. The F is the best, hands down. The B is good. It's a great release. However, I still can maybe make an argument that there are some single barrels that are, if not just as good as B, they get close to B. Yeah. Yeah, and that's kind of my biggest gripe with a lot of the releases this year, I'll say, just to kind of put a cap on this, guys. When it comes to the releases that we've seen in 2024, as much as I appreciate a lot of the great releases that come out from bourbon makers, from the big folks, mostly the big guys I'm talking to here, not so much the small NDP producers, but really the ones that are distilling their own stuff, who have an ability to create enough bourbon to price it as such, to price it at a value price point, like a Jim Beam, like a Heaven Hill, like a Wild Turkey. The problem is that they have created so many great bourbons for the price, so much great bourbon for the money. When you come to Jim Beam, I mean, Knob Creek 9-year, 12-year. I mean, those are well below $100 price points, and they're a lot better. And in some cases, they're a lot better or better than a lot of their special releases. And I think that's the problem that I think a lot of that we're seeing from a lot of the big distillers right now. Your special releases aren't exceeding enough to your regular releases. And that's a problem for me, because not only are your whiskeys much higher priced than your regular releases, but they're not that much better than what you're putting out there on the market, whether it be single barrels. And I'll include single barrel selections in there too, because groups that can pick a really damn good single barrel can exceed probably most of the expectations from any limited release LTO coming out from a big producer. And that's the problem. And I think that's the thing that they're losing sight of. Don't keep coming out with all these different releases because it's somehow limited, and you're not making it good enough that it's way better than the stuff that you have on the shelf. And while we appreciate the stuff that's on the shelf at the great price points, you are not making your limited time offerings good enough to exceed those. And when you ask us to pay $300 to $350 for it, it better be way better than not only your single barrel offerings, but your LTOs and anything else that you think that you're working on. And I think that's the problem mainly with the big distillers right now. I think they've kind of lost sight of that. They're just taking anything that they could put together, throwing it, limited release time on it. And yeah, it's just one of those things, man. That's my mini rant for the night, I think. So that would be my thing. Focus on maybe 1 or 2 limited releases a year that are just outstanding. Blow us away with whatever we're putting together. Making sure it's better. Make sure that it's better than what we're having on the shelf, please. And that is my rant for the night. Thank you so much. Because in the end, if we're just buying all this crap, we lose. And we want the prices to be low. We want the prices to be, competitive. And again, if you're going to ask us to pay $300 for something, it better be phenomenal. And it better not just be phenomenal to you guys because you think it's going to make you a shit ton of money on the bottom line. That's all I'm saying. And in today's market, with so much whiskey on the shelf, it's got to be. You gotta do it. So we'll see what happens as the year moves on. And with that, it is time for the third round of Blendageddon. It's a big one, guys. Let's get it started. Here we, where is it? Go. All right, everybody, the third round of Blendageddon is here in the Franken-blends category. As you see, if we look at the bracket, we have some big hitters tonight in the lineup, guys. Here is the bracket. Where did it go? Where's my bracket? Excuse me. I don't know why that never shows up. I feel like I upload it, but there it is. Here's the bracket, guys. As you can see, we have some heavy hitters tonight. In the chat, we have let's see, we have Darrell Stewart, we have Whiskey Problems, we have Darren Clary, we have DMC Kentucky, who won Blendageddon last year, and who else? Am I missing somebody? Oh, and Henry Turner as well. Sorry, I'm a little far from the screen, couldn't read it all the way. All right, excuse me, got some whiskey down the wrong pipe. That always stings. So real quick, because I did say when I was going to go upstairs, I was going to go grab the whiskey, the Little Book Infinite, just to do a quick retry of that one. Since there are a lot of people that, well, not for a lot of people, I know the junkies are crazy about the Little Book Infinite. So it made me think, let me dive back in here and see. Let me go back into the chat here. In a world. I don't see it. It's got some good flavor, but good spice. It's opened up nicely. It's a nice whiskey. I just don't think it's $200 good. I still think the Hardin's Creeks are better than this. But we'll see how it goes. We'll see if this gets better from year to year. Yeah, even that sip, it just, nah. Yep, nope. Whiskey knows only look 48. I'll take it. Infinite might get good as the base blend ages. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping, Nathan. So, all right. Let me grab Where the hell's my pen? Oh. How come I only can find my Sharpie? Where the hell did my pen go? Dove ha una pena? Dove ha una pena? Where is it? That's not it. All right. I don't know where the hell my pen is, so I'm going to use a Sharpie because that's better. My whole hand's going to be black by the end of the night. All right. 5 blends tonight, all going head to head. In the meantime, as usual, guys, what I will be doing is answering any of your questions that you may have. You know, good luck to all the competitors tonight. We have quite a lineup. Oops, that's the wrong thing. Want to put that up? All right. So let me mix these up a little bit. So as we found out, as you saw in the intro, not only do we have the defending champion from last year, Mr. DMC Kentucky, but we also have the defending Blendageddon champion from last year, Darrell Stewart, making his Blendageddon Franken-blend debut in this round. So we have some heavy hitters. Also, we have Henry Turner, Whiskey Problems. Darren Clary also does a great job blending. So here we go. Let's go to the first one. Let's go back to the comments here. Oh, it's Jake's birthday too. Damn. Where is my pin in Italian? That's right. Dove ha una pena? Well, bro, your tolerance is insane, and I'm impressed, says David Shelby. Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, it's I'm a professional. Don't try this at home. Only kidding. Okay. All right. So a while back, I got a $20 super chat from Big Ed, and he asked me to ask the question. Literally, last night we got into a discussion about chili. Chili, Texas chili, whatever kind of chili you like, I guess. And there was a little bit of a contention because I think people were kind of arguing, is it a chili if there are beans in it? So in the chat, is it beans or no beans to be a chili? So let's see. What say you in the chat, guys? Here we go. Okay. Here we go. Hope you got your Z-Biotic. No, I'm good to go right now. With beans, yes, beans. Nathan, you can't say both. Go either one. Ganny Rose says either beans, got to be beans. 100% beans. So here's the thing. Ben Drammond says both are chili. Okay. Chili has beans. Hot dog chili, no beans. Top Jimmy. That's the right answer, Top Jimmy. Regular chili has beans, but the chili that goes on my hot dog, no beans. I don't want beans on that shit. Don't give me the beans on my hot dog, my chili dog. No beans equals a stew, says Rebel Boys Bourbon. Okay. I could dig that. Nathan Jurgensen says correct take. No beans or Skyline. Dude, I cannot get into Skyline. I can't do it. Chili on spaghetti. I can't. I don't know what's happening. What's happening to the planet? Come on. Don't be putting chili on my spaghetti. Come on. True. Not on hot dog. Beans. My wife likes pasta in it. Beans. Mark G nailed it. What did Mark G say? Let me scroll up here. Beans are a magical fruit. Yes. Skyline is for psychopaths. Damn, Nick, you went over the line, dude. Brian Spriggs says Texas chili, no beans, but all other chilies get beans, but Texas chili cannot have beans. Is that the unspoken rule? Is that what we're talking about here? Oh my God, that's no beans, says Scott. Okay, we'll leave it. It seems to be a very divided subject matter. I'd rather argue over this than politics, to be honest. This is what, there you go. Chili beans, chili no beans for Congress. That's what we're talking about tonight, guys. That's how we get into it. Gotta have beans. The better question is vegetarian chili considered chili? I say no, says Stephen Walt. Stephen Walt, I wholeheartedly agree with you. Chili has to have some sort of meat in it. I'm sorry. I think vegetarian chili is a nice thought. It's a nice option for the vegetarians, but it's not chili. If you're giving me vegetarian chili, it's called soup. It's soup. Not even stew. It's soup. Chili con carne. Meat? Yeah, meats. Chili, no beans is great, but I would turn down beans with it. Always beans. You want some more beans, Mr. Taggart? I'd say you boys have had enough. Yeah, it's beans stew. Stephen Walt. Yeah, I'm with you. Top 5 favorite beans. should we do that tonight? Top 5 favorite beans? I don't know if I can think of my top 5 favorite beans. All right, let's get into Blendageddon, guys. Here we go. You guys are the greatest. Oh my gosh. All right. Yes, top 5 beans. Kenneth is all over this too. Jesus. All right. All right. Glass number 1 here. Let's see what we got. Nose is fantastic on this. Actually, off the bat here. Let's see what we get here. Yes, top 5 beans. EJ says number 1, jelly beans. EJ, that's pretty brilliant. Jelly beans might be number 1. Jelly Belly jelly beans, by the way. Coffee beans. Oh my God. Coffee beans might be number 1. Bubba Gump of beans in here. Everyone's just naming beans in the chat. What is happening right now? Oh my God. All right, let's go to the palette on number 1 here. Here we go. Ooh. It's a little musty. It's a little musty. Let me drop in some 80s music here. We'll drop in some 80s ominous music as I did open a can of beans with this question, and we knew it would happen. Big Ed, thank you so much for the question. Jesus. This first blend just went funky, man. It's just not it. Something went wrong in the combination. That's gonna kill my palate. You talk about like that sour milk note that you get in Maker's Mark. That's what I'm getting in here. And it's actually more. It's more prevalent. Yep. Oh, number 1, no. Sorry, number 1. Whoever's that is, something happened. It has gone bad. Does Beanie Weenie count? What bean would you pair with that blend? Fava beans? Beanie Guys are freaking killing me. The whole chat is just beans. Oh my God. All right, let's go to number 2. Hopefully number 2's got a good spot because it's coming off of number 1, which was pretty bad. Oh, number 2. All right. You're already doing great. Speaking of jelly beans, it smells like jelly beans. Only kidding. It just smells really sweet. You guys are absolutely killing me. This is a nice nose on this blend, guys. This has what you look for in a blend. It's balanced. It's got some sweet. It's got a little bit of spice to it. It seems like there's some a good prominent oak note in here as well. This is straight up like juicy fruit gum, though. Damn. All right, let's give it a try. I hope it tastes as good as it smells. Oh, and it does. That is so rich on the palate. That's now maybe because I'm coming off of 1, but 2 is really impressive. Wow. Let me go back to 2, see if I can break it down a little bit here. There's just something very, very dark in number 2. And I don't know if we're looking at a rum or an Armagnac, but there's something very dark and very fruity in number 2 that is just really elevating the experience. You guys just you guys just keep saying different beans. Beanie Babies, baked beans. Does anybody like the baked beans? What are the baked beans candy? You guys have those? You guys remember those, like the little baked beans candies? I feel like people either love them or hate them. Oh yeah, here's a good question for the chat. Does anybody in here like black licorice jelly beans? The worst bean ever. The worst bean overall. Jelly or, regular bean. Vegetable bean. The worst bean ever is a black jelly bean. Does anybody in here like black jelly beans or licorice? System Trend says yes. Okay. The Whiskey Saint is throwing up. Jerry Black says Bush's baked beans. Yo, that Bottle Raiders deal other day, Barrel North for 71, just hit my Costco in Western for 55. Not a bad pour. Also, Boston baked beans candies are great. Black jelly beans, not so much. Says Kyle Taylor. All right. Kyle Taylor weighing in. I like it. Love the black jelly beans, says Dan C. Really, Dan? You love the black jelly beans? Okay. I like them better than grape jelly beans. Hate the black jelly. Brutal. It only works if you pair it with a coffee jelly bean. Nope, says Dustin Pichelle. Steven is literally throwing up 100 times. I'm a Marine, so crayons are delicious too. What? Crayons? JG says black licorice. Yes. JG, man. No way. Dr. Pepper Jelly Belly. Yeah. Someone start a YouTube channel about beans. And not only can you do like variations of beans, but you could do beans as a topping. Beans on different bean chilies, beans on spaghetti, beans on rice, different types of rice. It's endless content. People will watch it. And then when you're done with the video, how bad do your thoughts smell? Like, how bad are your thoughts after you eat all those beans? You might as well take it all the way. Because everybody knows the rhyme for beans. Let's do it. Come on. Yeah, call it shooting and tooting. I don't know what you call the channel. It's shooting the beans and tooting after. I don't know what you call it. Oh my god. All right, let's go number 3. 2 is delicious. All right. Oh, number 3. Number 3's got some smoke. I'm calling Pete. I'm calling peated whiskey right here in this blend. Dan C says, I'm a fan of black jelly beans finishing an amber on a barrel. Dan C, you're fired. You're fired. Shooting toot for sure. This is, yeah, hell to the no on black licorice. Fartageddon bean salad blend. You guys are innovators. I love it. You guys are innovators. Yeah, there's definitely some peated whiskey in here. I definitely get a smoke. I get some peat. A little bit of a medicinal note in here too. I don't know if I want to drink that yet because I just feel like might kill my palate here. But I kind of have to. This is what it's about. You know what? The peat is subtle. The smoke is subtle. I really, really like it. It's actually balanced really nicely. It doesn't get into like a medicinal smoke. This really kind of stays as more of like that fruit forward smoke to it. I really, really like this. Jason, thank you for introducing me pancetta into my spaghetti sauce. Life-changing, Richie Z, right? Life-changing. Yeah, with Thanksgiving coming up, it's always hard to not think about kind of your favorite Thanksgiving Day meals. For you guys, for chat, what do you guys look forward to most on Thanksgiving? Is it the turkey? Is it the stuffing? Is it something that a family member makes that you only get once a year at Thanksgiving? Let me know what it is in the chat. I love Thanksgiving so much. I love the family aspect of it. I love just getting together around a giant turkey and sharing and eating. And I don't know. There's so many aspects of Thanksgiving that I love. I know some of you are going to type beans. I'm just waiting for it. Justin Jenkins, first one, types beans. Of course he did. Freaking Justin, flicking the bean. Stuffing, hiding from my in-laws in the garage. Says Rob D. That's fair. That's fair. I get it. Top 5 weird chat contents. Yeah, beans is definitely up there, Mauricio, for sure. Yeah, I like 3 a lot. It's very different though. The smoke aspect of it makes this, if you could control that in a blend, which I think this one does pretty well, I think you got something here. I'm impressed with 3. Gonna need water after that one. Whiskey Problem's favorite is LL Bean, so congrats on that comment. Sweet potato pie. The master drum. Most people don't know how to cook beans. The real cooks know if you add epazote on an herb, will eliminate gas and bloating that come from eating beans. Guys, this is the tip of the night. Miracle Martinez. Miracle Martinez, I feel like I want more recipes from you. So if you have more knowledge, email me at themashanddrum@gmail.com. I would love to know your amazing bean recipes. You know what's a big favorite of mine? Lentil soup. I love lentil soup. Lentil soup is one of my favorites. To be honest, it's the potatoes au gratin and the people in that order. Kyle Taylor, I get it. Potatoes au gratin. That's actually an unsung hero dish, I think, at Thanksgiving. I also think like sweet carrot casserole, green bean casserole is kind of an unsung one. Most people like to go for the stuffing. They go for the sweet potato pie, maybe. But I think those like green bean or even like a sweet carrot casserole, I think are highly underrated. Thank you so much, Randall Erickson. Appreciate that. Yes, please shop at LL Bean this Friday. Apparently, everyone loves beans. Works there. Thanks, EJ. I prefer Dutch ovens. What the hell is the fun in that? Says Whiskey Nose. Oh my God, thank you, says Shelby. I'm a stuffing guy. Yeah, I'm a big stuffing guy. I love stuffing. Cranberries and beans. I like cranberries on my stuffing. Sweet potato casserole, Jerry Black. Yes, I think that's an unsung hero as well. With or without marshmallow, though? You like it with or without the marshmallow? All right, let's go to 4. F those sweet potatoes and marshmallows. Off the topic, but what's your order of favorite batches for 13 Colony Double Oak, says CJ Miller. Great question. 1, 3, 2. With 1 being my favorite, 1, 3, 2, I think is my order. Do you agree with that, CJ? Just curious, but I think for me it's 1, 3, 2. I'm sorry. Yes, 1, 3, 2. I'm gonna go with. I think that's my order. 1, I don't think if they ever beat 1, that's gonna be a major milestone. But I think 1, 3, and then 2 is for me. So. I like to get like that perfect bite where it's turkey, stuffing, cranberry sauce, and we could get into the whole cranberry sauce thing. I think people is Cracker Barrel open right now? Whiskey Nose, don't go to Cracker Barrel. You're gonna shit yourself. 1000%, 1, 3, and 2. Yes, James Lay. Oh, you're throwing the 15th anniversary in there? Yeah, I'm just talking about the double oaks, but 1, 3, and 2. That's the move. For sure. I think so. Okay. Let's go to 4. 4, again, we have another really, really great nose here. I'm not picking up. So like the first 2 rounds were interesting because we were getting some maltiness in there, picking up on some Irish, picking up on some rum characteristics. This one, the only really standout I've gotten so far is in number 2, where I feel like there's something dark, rich, where it could be an Armagnac, maybe a rum in there, but something very dark, rich, and fruity in number 2. 3, there's definitely something peated in there. Now 4, I feel like I'm getting a little bit of a maltiness in 4 as well. Don Prince says, if the cranberry sauce isn't shaped like the inside of the can, then I don't want it. Don Prince, you win the Christmas goose. That's the right way to, that's how you do cranberry sauce. My mom every year swears that she has to make fresh cranberry sauce. Nobody eats it because all we want is the can one. We want it shaped like a can into slices. That's how we want my cranberry sauce. Ocean Spray, baby. Oh, there is a maltiness number 4. I don't know if it's wheat, malt, but there is it's either that or a combination of both, and I'm picking up a number 4. It's got a nice little sweetness too. Good finish. 4 is doing something. 4 is doing something. My girlfriend is a stickler for from scratch on Thanksgiving, except cranberry sauce. Yes. Yes. Yeah, Ocean Spray from my home state of Wisconsin. There you go, Taki Tecmo. Or Tachi Tecmo, I'm sorry. Oh, real quick. I do want to show you the sneakers I'm wearing tonight because I love them. These are the Air Jordan 4 Amamaniers. I love these. They're kind of like a really, really, really light purple. And they have off-white, kind of like the sail sole. And I just love the styling of this shoe. This is my Jordan for the night. So I want to show you guys those. I love these sneakers. Been trying to wear them and break them in. So yeah, I love them. F y'all if you are trying to make cranberry sauce fancy. It comes from a can, so Steven Scone. Unsolicited sneaker peek. There you go. Sick. Yeah, those kicks are kind of fun. Yeah, I love those sneakers. They're amazing. Dude, 4 is very good. 4 has this, man, 4 just keeps going too. 4's got the finish. 4 is special right now. 2 and 4, I think, are the leaders in the clubhouse. All right, let's go to 5. Let's see if 5 has something to say. Thanks, your Huckleberry. Appreciate it. How do you think Crandon, Wisconsin got its name? Crandon. Ah, nice. Got it. Cranberries for days. Need a pair of LL Bean boot. Randall Erickson just loves LL Bean, apparently. Oh, man. 5 has a great nose as well. Very fruit forward. More of kind of like a kind of like a caramel apple vibe I'm getting in this one, which is really nice. Jay Porter, what's with mint jelly? That's for lamb, dude. Lamb gets the mint jelly. That's it. That's the only time you see mint jelly. Lamb. Guys, my mom just got back from Italy, and she brought me back two giant things of cheese. And it's so hard for me not to just open them up and dive right in. I got like a beautiful log of provolone, and I got like this wheel of a spicy jalapeno, like not jalapeno, it's a hot pepper cheese. Oh my god. I'm saving them for Thanksgiving. I'm going to crack those open, but man, I open the fridge and I see those in there. It is hard not to break those open. Nothing like a good sharp provolone from the hills of Italia. Gotta love it. Are lentils beans? I think, yeah, lentils are beans. I love lentils, man. Love lentils. But cranberries actually berries or beans. You guys are ridiculous. Hey, what's up, Mark Emanecker? 5 on the palate kind of fell a little flat, unfortunately. But it's also following 4, which is kind of a beast. 5 is really solid. It just doesn't have the depth of flavor that 4 and 2 have, which I think is going to hold it back, unfortunately, in this round. When you're kind of going back and forth, 4, the best thing about 4 is its finish. It's got a really nice long finish. It's really rich. It's got a great texture too. Might be the best textured out of all of these. 5 might have the best texture, but to me, I don't know. It's just missing something on the palate. It doesn't have the richness that I'm looking for that 4 and 2 have. So let me get one more sip of 5. Smoked Gouda. Smoked Gouda is good shit. And when I was in Wisconsin to visit Scott, I learned all the aspects of the proper cheese curd. The squeakier, the better. And cheese curds, I'm a huge fan. Love cheese curds. Five is good. It's just it's good. It's not great. Now, I could see 5 being one of those blends where when you blend it together initially, it might taste really good, but as it sits, it just starts to kind of get a little bit flat. And I think that's what's happening with 5. JG, Canada does have cheese. Whiskey No says, Darrell, I'm calling it. Yours is 4 and DMC is 2. I guess do you think the 2 defending Blendageddon champions are 4 and 2? I guess we'll see. I'm going to taste through these one more time real quick here, and then we'll name our we'll see who gets eliminated and who's moving on. I don't see a wild card in this mix, unfortunately, like we did in round 1 and round 2. So this is what's going to happen next week. We're going to taste the 3 wild cards, I think I only have 2 wild cards. 2 wild card. Well, you know what? Maybe I'll just pick a wild card in here for fun. This way we have 3 wild cards. We'll pick, I'm going to have a guest judge. We're going to pick our favorite wild card. And then after that, we'll add the wild card to the final 3. So we'll have 4 total to pick from to crown our champion. So that'll be next week. I am going to have a guest judge next week, so stay tuned. All right, we're going to go in reverse order real quick. Oh, just put both wild cards in. They're nice people. I know, NJ. We're going to have to eliminate 2 of you. They're going to be 3 wild cards. All right, that was 5. 4. Oh my God, 4 just smells incredible. Man, what is that I'm getting on 4? There's a smokiness to 4, which I just really love. Four is so good. 4 is definitely making it through. 4 is in. 4 is... I can't wait to put 4 against some of the other favorites that we've had in the first 2 rounds because 4 is legit. All right, let's go to 3. Now, 3 was the peated one, I think. And I really do like this one. This one could be the wild card. You know why? Because it's really hard to blend with peated whiskey. And whoever blended number 3, I think, did a phenomenal job of blending it because it's not overpowering. It doesn't take away from the blend. It just adds enough to make things interesting. And that's what the Franken-blends is about. So 3 could get into a wild card situation. All right, let's go back to 2. 2, I really oh man, 2's nose is incredible. This thing is just straight up. This is just candy on the nose. Candy. Dude. I'll say this though. 2 has a little bit of a lacking finish a bit. The beauty of 2 is on the front and mid palate. The finish kind of tapers off. It gets a little bit malty, a little bit drying on the back end. It doesn't have the finish that 4 has. But the front and mid palate on 2 is beautiful. It's beautiful. And this is great for me because I'm in the middle of trying to launch my own brand, which will be blends that I create. So, tasting these and what I like and what I don't like is really helpful. So, you guys may not know this, but as far as Blendageddon goes, it's super helpful to me to kind of taste through these blends. I have certain things in my head that I want to create, I want to make, but when you're kind of tasting things that other people create and then I kind of taste what I like, it gives me different directions to go and ideas. So I really, really thank you for that. You don't really kind of think about that until you're kind of working on your own thing and you're like, holy shit. So yeah, Blendageddon and just research and development. Well, not really the Franken-blends, because who knows what's in this stuff. But at least experience wise, yeah. And then 1 I can't even drink. 1 is out. 1 I can't even drink. So this is what we're gonna do. 2 makes it to the final bracket. 4 makes it to the final bracket, and I have 3 as the wild card. 1 and 5 unfortunately get eliminated. So let's see who belongs to 1 and 5. Jason C, did you see the new Chattanooga Isla finish? Yes, I did see that one. Whiskey knows. I did enjoy the previous one they did. I'll be curious to try this one. So, all right. Here are the results. Here we go. Can the Blendageddon winners from next year get a chance to help you pick barrels for your brand, says Henry Turner. I think that with my brand, I think that I'm going to be reaching out to a few different patrons and members of my own group to help not only pick the blends that I create, but definitely critique them. I definitely want constructive criticism, harsh criticism, easy criticism, whatever may come. And in order to create the highest level of whiskey that I expect to come from me to you guys, to my members, and to other people that are looking to grab a bottle of my brand, which I can't say too much yet about, but it's happening soon. I'm going to do whatever it takes, man. So, all right. You guys know what a stickler I am for quality and finish and everything. So I will not stop blending until I get all those components right. All right, here's the list. Holy shit. Here we go. Let's see who the first one is. This one, unfortunately, just went a little bit sour. It got into that Maker's Mark area. It got bitter. It got funky. Unfortunately, this is letter A. And this belongs to, dude, Henry Turner with the North American Whiskey Blend. Let's see what's in his blend. I'm curious. Henry Turner, I'm sorry, buddy. But this has happened before. I think Copper Wolf last year or the year before, he put in a blend that was just undrinkable. And unfortunately, just sometimes that happens. So let's see what we got here. Top Shelf Dustin in the house. So it's confirmed you're buying Old Carter. No, it's not. I'm not buying. I don't have that type of money, guys. All right, Henry Turner. Let's see what's in this blend. In this blend. Well, before I look at it, I just want to see if I can figure out what's in here. The only guess I have is that there's a rye whiskey in here. Other than that, I don't know what else could be in here. I think the rye, if there's a rye whiskey in here, I think that's what's giving it a very dilly, funky, off-profile note. Am I kind of on the right track, Henry? I haven't looked at the blend yet, so let me know. Is there a rye in here? I'm just curious. Uh, yes, let's start a new brand called Old Farter. That'll be great. Totally want an old drummer single barrel pick. Would you say those off-putting blends are the most interesting to learn? Yeah, I think so, for sure. Henry Turner, the Canadian is 158 proof. There is a rye in there. All right, let's see what we got. You got an Obtainium Canadian whiskey at 157.6 proof. Holy shit. Old Bones, 15-year Canadian rye, and the Calumet 16-year bourbon. I think the Old Bone 15-year Canadian rye took over the blend. And when it mixed with that Canadian whiskey, just something went wrong, man. Unfortunately. It just got really funky, really bitter. Yeah. But that's a really interesting 3-component blend. You have Canadian rye, you have pretty much Canadian whiskey, and then you have a Calumet, which is a pretty high-aged bourbon. So I think all you can really smell is the rye. It's just really funky and just got a little bit too bitter, unfortunately. So, yeah, we're going to blame Canada on that. Henry, it's not your fault. Blame Canada. It's not your fault. Blame Canada. Okay. So one is out. One is out. Let's go to what was the next one we were eliminating? Number 5 here. Or, yeah, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 5. So 5 is out. It's going to come down to these 3. 5 belongs to, that's letter D, and that goes to, oh shit. Sorry, Durrell. The last one is the City Slicker blend from Durrell Stewart. Sorry, buddy. Yeah, Durrell, compared to the other 2, this one didn't hit. Let me try it again here. Unfortunately, Durrell just kind of dies on the finish a bit. I can't even open Durrell's damn blend here. The one thing I'm going to guess, because I know Durrell. I know Durrell, and I know that he put some fucking rum in here. Not enough beans, Durrell. I'm gonna guess there's some rum in here because I know Durrell, and I feel like for him he would put some rum in here, and I feel like there is some sweetness in there enough to be rum, but it's good. But compared to the man, you know, we'll have to go between Durrell's and the other one for the wild card. I don't know. It just falls flat on the finish a bit. Okay. Let's see what Durrell blended here. 1, 2, 3. So 4. Only 4 components for this one, guys. So we have the 2XO Innkeeper blend. 25% of the blend is that. So that is the 2XO Innkeeper blend from Dixon Deadman. Number 2 is the Redoubtable, which is a 4 square. So there's your rum, guys. I had a feeling he put rum in there. Number 3, New Riff 8-year malted rye. And then lastly, a 4-gate Andalusia key, which is was the Andalusia key, was that also rum? Andalusia key? Or was the Andalusia key the, was that the orange one? I'm trying to remember. Oh no, that was the Outer Loop Orbit. Sorry. Andalusia key, I think, was a rum one. So, 25% Innkeeper blend, 12.5% Redoubtable 4 square. That's your rum component. So he blended a bourbon, a rum, a rye, and then a finished bourbon all together. So yeah, sherry and rum. I don't know, man. I loved the front of the palate, but the finish just lacked, unfortunately. So that means what we have left are 3 blends from the defending champion Run DMC Kentucky, Darren Clary with Drain Pour, and it's Frankenstein from Whiskey Problems. So let's find out who is whose. So let's get rid of that one. Number 2. Number 2, which I think might be my favorite of all 3 of these, possibly, belongs to, that goes to letter C, and that, holy shit, DMC, with his blend called Tougher Than Leather. Dude, DMC just knows how to freaking blend weird shit. That is, I don't know what's in there. We're not going to find out yet, but that is really good. We'll see if it ends up winning in the end. The middle one, which I think there's definitely some peated whiskey in here. This is letter B, and that belongs to, it's Frankenstein from Whiskey Problems. So Whiskey Problems, you definitely put some peated shit in there. I definitely know you did. We'll find out what that is if you make it, or if you don't make it to the wild card. Through the wild card round, we'll find out what it is. And that means lastly, this one, which I really loved, number 4, was the Drain Pour blend from Darren Clary. So Darren Clary, DMC KY, and Whiskey Problems go through to the end, to the final round. Darren Clary, you're going to go through to, you're going to get a free pass right to the final round, as well as DMC Kentucky. But it looks like Frankenstein, Whiskey Problems, you're going through to the wild card. You're going to go against 2 other blends in the wild card round. One of those blends will make it, and then we'll see what happens. And then we'll see what happens in the end next week. We are going to crown a champion in the Frankenstein blend category next week, and then we start the American blends. 35 or 36 blends in the American blend category. It's nuts. It's going to get crazy. So congrats to everybody. Good job, fellas. Great blends. And we're going on. What time is it? It's 11:05. Holy shit. I don't care. I feel like I want to have something else with you guys. Guys, name my next pour. What should I finish tonight with? Give me something you want me to review, something you want me to compare, and then we'll call it a night. What do you guys got? Parker's Cheesy Gold Foil. Cheesy. Kyle Taylor says Scotch. Got any bean whiskey? I don't have any bean whiskey, unfortunately. I really don't. Wish I did. You guys want me to do Cheesy Gold Foil? That's 3 votes for Cheesy Gold Foil. Okay. If anybody's wondering about the Sagamore 9 versus 8-year review, that will be dropping tomorrow, so you guys will see that. Yeah, why not? Let's move the sneakers. I haven't had Cheesy Gold Foil in a while, so let's do this. Everybody grab their glass, whatever they're sipping right now. I don't have much left. It's getting low. It's getting low. Guys, though, look at the color of this shit, though. Come on. Look at that. That is a beautiful... Look at the color on the Cheesy Gold Foil 12-year. It's motor oil. It's motor oil. Oh, yeah, and real quick, before I end the night, let's do it. Top 5 beans coming at you right now, guys. Top 5 beans coming at you right now. I got to think about this a little bit. Number 5. You know, as much as I love them, they're very ubiquitous, but I'm going to go with number 5 goes to black beans. Number 5 is just black beans. Number 4, I think it's a bean. Yeah, number 4, I'm going to go with garbanzo beans because garbanzo beans make delicious hummus, however you want to say it. Love garbanzos. I'm going to go number 4, garbanzos beans. Number 3, garbanzos beans. I feel like that's a great band name. Hashtag band name, garbanzos beans. Go for it. Somebody start a band and name it that. Thank you very much. Number 3, let's go with... I think lentils are a bean. I'm going to go with lentils for number 3 because I love lentil soup. Love lentil soup so much. Love lentil soup. Number 2, jelly beans. I don't care. I'm putting it in there. Number 2 is jelly beans. And number 1, you guys know where I'm going. It's friggin' coffee beans. There's nothing better than a coffee bean, especially when you roast it, you grind it, and you make coffee. Number 1 is a coffee bean. But if we're taking coffee beans and jelly beans off the table, number 2 for beans, I'm going to go with I love good kidney beans, man. Red kidney beans, really good. Number 1, what would be my number 1 bean? You know what? Screw it. Number 1, the sugary, delicious baked beans. Why not? Brown sugar, bacon, all the shit. Put it in there. Number 1, baked beans. And there you go. All right. That's my top 5 for tonight. Cheesy gold foil. If nobody has ever had a pour of this, I would urge you to go to a bar that has this shit. Like if you're in Kentucky, go to the Neat bar, I think Neat has this still. I don't care who you are and how much it is. Spend the money and try this whiskey. It'll change your life. This is why Russell's 15 is so good. There are remnants of Russell's 15 that live in this cheesy gold foil. This is in 1989. So between 87 and 91, I think, 91, very, very special time for Wild Turkey. The whiskey, the bourbon coming out of Wild Turkey those years were incredible. So if you could find a cheesy gold foil in that time frame, it's ridiculous. It's funky, it's rich, it's butterscotchy, yet dark fruit. That little bit of like a. So it's interesting when you try this versus Russell's 15. Now Russell's 15 has more of like that dark cherry medicinal note, or black cherry, I should say. This, it has it, but it's not nearly as prevalent. Even though this is 12 years old, this has more of like a very, very rich butterscotch note. So as time has gone on, you can see kind of the evolution of the flavor profile of Wild Turkey as well. Just stellar stuff. So that's it, guys. That's tonight. That is a Whiskey Wednesday here on November 6th. Guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for all the super chats and the support. Really appreciate it. Tomorrow, stay tuned for the Sagamore 9-year review compared to the 8-year. See how that shakes out. Also, the full review of the single Rickhouse Camp Nelson B from Russell Reserve, and some more stuff coming at you. Plus, we're going to have some fun stuff coming in December. My advent calendar will be back. The Grinch will be back. What can I say? Guys, I will see you next week. We have a guest judge for the Franken-blend finals. Who's going to take it? We will see next week right here on the Mass and Drum. Love you guys. Cheers. And again, like I said before, be kind to one another. And it's not about the whiskey. It's the people you share with. Cheers. I'll see you next week right here on the Mass and Drum. Love you guys. Cheers.